Good afternoon, everyone. So we will begin the guest lecture in few minutes. Yeah. So please stay here, and later when the when the lecture starts, we expect you to turn on your camera. Okay. Thank you very much.
Hi again. So are we going to start now or shall we wait?
Maybe we should wait for another few minutes. Maybe, Prof. Mostari. No problem.
No
Okay.
problem. No.
Okay. Good. Or maybe you want to try to share again your PPT slides.
Yeah, sure.
Have you shared your materials, Prof?
So is it fine?
Is it me or I do not see anything here. I do not see anything. Is it my connection or what? Fika, maybe? Can you see anything here?
Same with you. We cannot see any materials yet. Perhaps we will help you to share the screen. Is it okay, Prof?
Well, yeah, again.
Yeah.
Now?
Oh, okay. The screen told no slide yet. We have been notified that you share screen, but there is no any slides.
And now?
Here.
And now?
Still the same.
Oh. Nothing here?
Yes, it's nothing yet, Prof.
So I will quit the meeting and then I will enter again.
Okay. You can try that, Prof. Okay, so for those students who have joined us today, yeah, this afternoon, let me tell you, yeah, the regulation for joining this lecture. I expect, or we expect you to turn on the camera, yeah, during the lecture. And during the lecture by Prof. Hind, you are also expected to take notes, yeah. And if you have any questions, you can deliver your questions with, or maybe by typing your questions in our chat group, or you can raise your hand later, or you can turn on your microphone later, yeah, after the presentation by Professor Mostari. Thank you. So we are waiting for Prof. Mostari to join us again soon.
And now is it fine?
I'm sorry, there is no any slides, Prof. I don't know what happened.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I have shared the slide. I shared it. I don't know what happened actually.
Okay, that's okay, Prof. So actually we can help you, yeah, to play the slides for you.
No, but the problem is that I am used to slide, and here nothing.
No, there's nothing here.
Here it is written share. I share it.
Yeah, it's written Hind Amel Mostari has started screen sharing, but it doesn't show anything.
Okay, so I will send you again the presentation, but the problem is that it's not practical. And here,
Is it a different presentation, Prof?
no, it's the same. Just the title. I have changed the title up in your your lecture's title. That's all.
Okay.
But it is the same. Let's see. What's happening? And now nothing.
Not yet.
God. So I will send it to you right now, and you are going to pass it. That's all.
Okay. Yes. Maybe we
Okay.
are going to try it out at first. Yeah.
Okay. So you will have it just in. No, I will send. I'm sending to you the presentation. This is the same, just the title. Okay. So. Now, do you see the presentation?
Not yet, Prof. We do not
Okay,
see
so
any.
I have sent you the presentation.
Okay.
This is the same, but just the title was up in the title of your lecture. Just managed to change it. That's all. So I'm ready, and I'm sorry, I don't know what is it. I mean, I used to use your Zoom, so you can launch it from your side, and then after we'll see. So have you received the PowerPoint, or you can use the one of yesterday, no problem. It's the same.
We haven't received it yet, but yeah.
You can use the one of yesterday, or
Okay,
or
the
I have
previous.
just I have sent it to you now.
Okay.
Yes, it's sent. Yes, it is sent now.
Oh, okay. So yes, we have received it now.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. It took time, yeah, traveling from Algeria to Indonesia. Okay. So I have shared it. Let me know if you cannot see it.
Yes, I can see. Yeah, I can see
So,
perfectly.
okay. So it's well played here, yeah, Prof.
Okay.
Okay, so maybe I'm going to stop it and then start the lecture for today. Okay, Prof. Mostari?
Okay, perfect.
Okay, so as we begin the lecture for today, so let me notify the audience again. Yeah, please turn on your camera. And you can try to take notes during the lecture, and you can type your questions if you have any questions for Prof. Hind later. Okay. Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam.
So to the Honorable Head of English Education Department of UMSIDA, Dr. Vika Megawati MPD, Professor Mostari Hind Amel, Ph.D. as today's keynote speaker, and all dear students of the English Education Department and the audiences. I am Sheila Agustina. On behalf of the organizer of this agenda, we would like to welcome all of you to this guest lecture with the theme Promoting Linguistics in English Language Teaching. So thank you for taking your time here for being with us today. We would also like to thank Professor Mostari Hind Amel, PhD, for presenting with us today despite her busy schedule. Next, let me tell you about the lecture arrangement for today. The first one will be the opening remark from the head of the English Education Department of UMSIDA. And then the second one is the presentation session by the keynote speaker. And then followed by the question and answer session and discussion session. And then followed by closing. So I'm going to tell you briefly about today's lecture. Basically, this event is based on the necessity of the students, yeah, who major in English language teaching to have a deep understanding of the role of linguistics in English teaching and learning that they will conduct in the future. So today's informative lecture will not only guide us all, but also educate us regarding a variety of these pertaining to the teaching English as a foreign language. And we are all surely grateful for this prospect. Okay, so next I'm going to invite head of the English Education Department, Dr. Vika Megawati MPD, to deliver the opening remarks. Okay, please, Bu Vika, the time is yours.
Okay, thank you, Busela. Am I clear? My voice is clear?
Yes, it is.
Okay, thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon and best wishes to all of us. The Honorable Professor Mostari Hind Amel, PhD, the Honorable Secretary of English Education Study Program, Bu Sheila Agustina, MPD, the lecturers, especially Bu Vidya Mandarani MHU, and also our beloved participants, English Education Study Program for UMSIDA, and also students from Prof. Hind's class, yeah, from Algeria. Good afternoon, all. Please allow me to express our gratitude to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala for His blessing, so that we are healthy today to attend this academic activity, and also to all of you as the participant of today's guest lecture, especially our speaker, Professor Mostari Hind Amel, for attending this invitation. I'm so glad to see you again. Actually, this is not the first time we have a collaboration in terms of guest lecture. Thank you very much. You come here again. And also, we are glad to, to receive your insight, your information to improve our students' insight about linguistics. It is hoped that through this activity, the knowledge that we receive today can be our students' motivation to learn more and also improve their insight from the experts. Yeah, one of them is, of course, you. And then for our students, please be active participants. You can ask questions or express your argument to make this forum live. Yeah, okay, all right. I think that's all I can say. Once again, welcome to this guest lecture and have a great activities. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, thank you very much for Bu Vika. I think we need to shorten our time because it's already 3 p.m. here in Indonesia. It's already 3 p.m. here in Indonesia, yeah. So I'm going to shorten our time and I'm going to welcome our keynote speaker for today, Professor Mostari Hind Amel, Ph.D., to present and convey her thoughts regarding our theme today. Yeah. Okay. Hi, Professor Hind. How are you today?
Hi. Thank you. Fine.
Okay. Very good. So, what time is it now in Algeria, Prof?
What are the time? The time is 9:15.
Okay. So
AM.
9:15 in the morning. Yeah.
In the morning. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So we have 6 hours difference. Yeah. Okay. Can you please greet my students here in Indonesia?
Yeah, hello, my dear students from Indonesia, dear students from Algeria. I hope that you will take profit from my intervention today, and I can't wait receiving questions from you.
Okay, so you cannot wait receiving the questions from us, yeah, Miss, Prof, yeah. Okay. So before we start the main event of the day, let me tell you briefly, but not brief actually, about our keynote speaker. So Professor Mostari Hind Amel, PhD, has achieved major appreciation, in her field of work, and to talk about her would probably consume a lot of time because of her endless achievements, yeah. So Professor Mostari Hind Amel, PhD, is now a full professor in the Department of English, Faculty of Letters, Language and Arts in Djillali, Liabes, University of Sidi Abbes in Algeria. So in summary, his research areas are in linguistics, applied linguistics, and also ELT or English language teaching. She has been actively involved in many academic activities since 1998. Okay. And Professor Mostari graduated from, wow, okay. So this is fascinating actually, yeah. Fascinating fact, yeah. Professor Mostari graduated from different programs with various backgrounds, such as management, English, and also linguistics. Okay, so it's really fascinating. She is and also was a member of editorial boards, advisory boards, and reviewer of national and international journals. She has published some works such as a book chapter and articles, and has been an active speaker at many international conferences. She also often receives research grants from various institutions. Yeah, very inspiring. Last, she has supervised many students from various levels, such as from postgraduates, master's degrees, and also PhD. She is fluent in Arabic, French, and also English. Yeah, and this is also interesting. Yeah, so her hobbies are watching historical war documentaries, cooking, and also surfing on the internet. Okay, okay, interesting hobbies. Yeah. So, Prof, after this, we will give you.
Professor Achtim knows about my hobbies.
Yeah, so interesting hobbies, yeah. Okay, so Prof, after this, we will give you 45 minutes for delivering the materials, and then about 15 minutes later for the discussion session as soon as you finish your presentation. Is it clear, Prof?
Okay, perfect. Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, so the time and screen are yours. Yes, I'm going to share it from here. Wait, it takes time.
Yes.
Okay, can you see it well?
Yes.
Okay, good.
So can I start now?
Yes, please, Prof.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So today is a very special day for me to present this lecture. in front of international students from Indonesia. So I tell you firstly, good morning, everybody, and I hope that you take profit from my humble intervention. Basically, I would like firstly also to apologize not to be able to present this lecture a few weeks ago due to jet lag between Algeria and Indonesia. And today's lecture title is Promoting Linguistics for English language teacher. So this is very important topic. So yes, can you pass it, please? You pass it quickly, yes. Firstly, we have to know that linguistics is very important topic of investigation, and also it is a very crucial domain. So in this presentation, I'm going to highlight the following points. First, I'm going to define what is linguistics. I'm going to highlight the main branches. We have to state why do we study linguistics, and also I'm going to highlight the importance of linguistics for English, for teaching English, and at the end I will highlight the effects of linguistics on the FL teacher career. You know that linguistics is like a module that not all students love because it's full of ambiguity and also of let's say difficulties, and I would like to change. I hope that I can change the mind of your students. So let's start with what is linguistics. So to start with, we can define linguistics as, yes, linguistics is the scientific study of human language, and its focus is the systematic investigation of the properties of particular languages, as well as the characteristics of language in general. So it encompasses only the study of sound, grammar, and meaning, but also the history of language families, how languages are acquired by children and adults, and how language use is processed in the mind of how it is connected to race and gender. Okay, so well, I think that because I cannot manipulate the slide, so I will just going to put just small sign to tell you to pass. Okay, is it fine? Okay, perfect. So with close connections to humanities, social sciences, natural sciences, so linguistics complements a diverse range of other disciplines such as anthropology, philosophy, psychology, sociology, biology, computer science, health sciences, education, and literature. And the subfield of applied linguistics emphasize the use of linguistic concepts in the classroom to help students improve their ability to communicate in their native language or second language. Well, though I am a teacher of linguistics, I could hardly find a convincing definition, because you type linguistics definition on Google, you find lots of old and new definitions, but just to say that we have to speak about a very large and also very complex field. Okay, so linguistics as a field of study embodies several branches. Okay, so this lecture's purpose is not to provide all the branches of linguistics, but when I was talking with Shaila, she gave me a brief idea about the main branches that your students study at the graduate level, and they are more or less the same as our Algerian students actually study in their undergraduate or 3 years license, what we call when they got their baccalaureate, when they enter to the university to study English as a foreign language, they undertake 3 years before going to master studies, and they have approximately the same modules that your students have. So they study phonetics, which is the physical property of sounds. In human language, it examines how speech sounds are produced, transmitted, and perceived. We have phonology, which studies the sound patterns and systems in languages. It focuses on the organization and structure of sounds known as phonemes within a specific language or languages. And also we have morphology, which is concerned with the structure and formation of words, and it examines how words are composed of smaller meaningful units called morphemes, in addition to syntax, which investigates the rules and principles governing the formation of sentences and phrases in language. It examines the structure and organization of words within a sentence and the relationships between them. So the idea here is that our students have backward. You go to the backward, please. Our students have these branches, but they don't really know why they study it. What for hell are going to do with these branches for their career as a teacher? They don't know. So phonetics is very important. Why? Because if you study phonetics at the university, what will happen is that as you graduate, you are certainly going to be sent to a school. Whether I don't know what is the system in Indonesia, but you're going to study in or to teach in a school, middle, primary, secondary school, I don't know. But all these schools, as far as you are teaching English, you are going to teach what? You are going to teach pronunciation. And pronunciation is firstly how to pronounce words, how to pronounce letters, how to pronounce sounds. And here you have to know how are the organs going to work together, lungs, jaw, lips, teeth, in order to pronounce special sounds. And of course that the sounds in Arabic are not the sounds in Indonesian, are not the sounds in Malay, are not the sounds in French, etc. So the student of linguistics who knows what is phonetics will certainly help the students better how to pronounce. In phonology, we have the sound differences, and we have also language pairs like cut, shut, set, etc. So these differences will be what we call language pairs, which certainly will be used by the teacher in order to approximate the learning of some sounds that are related, that are considered to be language pairs or not. For morphology, you know that morphosyntax is what? If you open the book of a grammar, the first thing that is written, for example, the famous grammarian Geoffrey Leach, very well-known grammarian. So he has a famous book called Grammar. When I opened in the first cover of his book, Grammar, it was just written grammar equal morphosyntax. So morphosyntax is grammar. So if the student knows what is morphology and what is syntax, so he will better control grammar. He knows the grammatical rules, tense, also the combination of words, the plural marker, the feminine marker, the masculine marker, the definite, the indefinite articles. All these are elements of teaching grammar in the schools. So how does he know this? It is from the study of morphosyntax. Okay. So psycholinguistics, when we speak about psycholinguistics, generally, this module, as Shaila told me, that it was omitted from your program. So I think that it is a bad idea. Why? Because generally, when we look at psycholinguistics, by the way, I have been teaching psycholinguistics for many years, and psycholinguistics is divided into many branches. So we have the main branch, which is the branch that Krashan talked about. It is developmental psycholinguistics. Developmental psycholinguistics is how does the child acquire language from his first from the time he's born. It means we have the babbling, 1 word, 2 word stage, 3 word stage. How does the child move from babbling to producing full sentences? So imagine you have a student of English who is graduated and is going to teach children in the kindergarten. He will certainly get profit from his knowledge of psycholinguistics to know, for example, the child's problems, because we have the child's problems in producing language, like, for example, children who stutter or stammer, children who are anxious, who mispronounce some words. So teachers, generally the classical teachers, the old generation teachers, were very tough with children. Say, well, he is very lazy child. He doesn't know how to pronounce. He doesn't work. You are bad parents. You don't help him. But if this teacher has a good background on the developmental psycholinguistics and the social and psycholinguistic factors that help the child, for example, we have environmental factors, we have social factors, we have psychological factors that help the student, the child, or hinder the child from pronouncing some words or some sounds. He will know that, or he will better understand the linguistic problems among children, and the best tools to enhance his process of early learning a foreign or a second language. Sociolinguistics is basically the scientific study of language within society. And here within society, we have many factors. We have ethnicities, we have for example, dialects. We have issues related to idiolect, the learners' personal repertoire of languages. We have bilingual children. We have children coming from different ethnicities. So imagine we teach 2 children, one coming from an ethnic group, one coming from another ethnic group. They have differences in pronunciation. So a teacher who has solid background on the importance of social factors, racial factor, cultural factor, will know, for example, why this child is mispronouncing or misbehavior, or has a weird cultural behavior because his culture is different. I'm here talking about classes where, for example, children come from different countries or different ethnic groups with different backgrounds. And even in one country, we have children from different backgrounds. So their behavior will certainly change. Here in Algeria, in the Department of English where I teach, we do not receive learners or students from different country. We have, but it's very rare. We don't have a lot. We got very few students from Madagascar, from Nigeria or Niger one day, but it's not very frequent as other scientific faculties in Algeria. But here we have students from the same country, from Algeria, coming from the south, coming from the east. I received in my experience students, and I saw that they have some different cultural behavior, pronunciation. Some pronunciations are different from one region to another, their attitudes. So all this, if we have a good knowledge of what is sociolinguistics, or the language variation, their attitudes, their mastery of different languages, how are we going to deal with the difference, with the difference in their culture? We can handle class, and we should know how to manage the classroom, which is not an easy task. I remember a few years ago we had students from Comor Islands. the Comor Islands, and I was teaching social linguistics, and I was teaching dialects in Algeria. So the student was looking at me with fishy eyes because he is from Comor Island. I am teaching Algerian Arabic. So I was obliged to manage or to adjust my lecture so that I add some items from the Comor, and I was also obliged to generalize and not to speak only about Algerian Arabic, colonialism, because he has no background about colonialism in Algeria, etc. So this is the role of the teacher, is to adjust the information according to the teacher's to the student's need. Here it won't be the teacher's centered approach, but to the student-centered approach, in the sense that we have to take into consideration the real needs of the students, not the teacher should tailor the lecture to be at the right size of his classroom needs, and not to provide a lecture or say, okay, take it or leave it, I don't care, this is my lecture, I presented it, you love it, you don't love it, it's not my business. Okay, so this is the real challenge. Now, applied linguistics here focuses on the practical application of linguistic research and theories. It includes areas such as language teaching and learning, translation and interpretation, language planning, forensic linguistics, and computational linguistics. So here, applied linguistics, it is the major linguistics field or branch that is really appreciated by students who think that it is the only branch that should be used in their career, which is false. This is just one among other branches. So here we have also discourse analysis, and here we have or I have shared, or inshallah shared with me the template of your student, which is very good, because when a student has an idea about how to analyze a speech, whether it is oral in TV or even in a text, newspapers or journals, he would know how to distinguish between items like coherence, cohesion, and also the different hidden meaning. Okay, we have other types of or branches of linguistics like semantics, pragmatics, neurolinguistics, computational linguistics. The number, if you type in Google language linguistics branches, it is like, I'm not going to tell less, but it's very huge. But I just wanted to highlight the most, not the most important, but the most used and taught branches at the university, whether in Algeria or at the level of your universities. So these branches collectively contribute to our understanding of language structure, meaning usage and analyze and appreciate. To analyze and appreciate the intricate and diverse nature of human language. Novice or early career teacher, I don't know whether I have to launch by myself the audio, but we have 3 testimonials from my my ex-students who were studying linguistics. One of them was like just a module, and the other, it was a whole master, 2 years of master linguistics, and then they witness and they testify how linguistics help them in their career as teacher of English, whether in the schools, private schools, or secondary middle schools, and one of them at the university. So I don't know, dear colleague, if I have to launch the vocal or you have to launch it. You take you launch any there is no priority. There are three vocals. You launch them, or if you want, I can launch them from here. Can you launch the vocal here? The vocal, the audio I sent you.
Okay, wait a minute. It's still in the process, Prof.
The process is that I have sent you audio. The audio, 3 recordings with Shaila. You launch the recordings so that the audience can hear them.
Okay, wait, we will download it first.
Yes, we have 3 recordings. So maybe I can carry on, or we will wait until you download, or I can share it from here if you want.
Okay, we have downloaded. Can we try to share it first?
Yes, we have 3. We have 3, so you can start with any of them. No problem. We have 3 recordings.
Okay. By the way, when we play the recording, how did you do, Prof? You played in your mobile phone?
No, we are going just to listen to them. That's all.
Okay. Let me try, yeah.
Well, it worked in the morning. It worked very well. So I think that.
Okay, we have the files now, but sorry, I'm confused how to play it in
So
this
maybe
device.
Well, can you allow me to share it, because I did it in the morning. I share it.
Okay.
Okay. It works in the morning, so I guess that it works now. No, where is it? It's not this one. No. So is it 5? Is it 5?
Yes, we don't need. We don't see any file.
Do you hear it?
Not yet. Not yet.
Is it fine?
Could you please speak it louder, Prof?
I think it's yes, sure. I think it's the maximum.
Okay. Or maybe I will try to share it, baby. I think I find a way. I think I find a way. So let me see. Let me see.
I think it's just you have to click, and in order not to waste time, maybe I will carry on the lecture, and you'll try to see if you can share it. But I think you have just to click. It's very easy.
I'm going to try to play the first one.
Perfect.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am Dr. Liabes, holder of Ph.D. in English Literature and Civilization. Currently, I'm employed as a part-time teacher in the Department of English at the University of Sidi, Abbes, as well as a teacher in different private schools, accumulating humble experience of 7 years in the field. So, throughout my academic journey, I have extensively studied linguistics and its various branches. In the initial phase of my 3 years undergraduate program, I delved into introductory linguistics and its associated theories, exploring areas such as phonetics, syntax, and semantics. These foundational modules proved instrumental in my comprehension of language structure, acquisition, and learning, enabling me to effectively structure and design course syllabi. So including the course of written and oral expression, as I was in charge of teaching those modules, and also grammar and other modules. So, during the second phase of my studies, when pursuing my master's degree in didactics of English literature and civilization, I focus on the most influential sub-branches of linguistics, sociolinguistics and psycholinguistics. So it is worth acknowledging the invaluable guidance of Professor Mostari in enlightening my understanding and appreciation of these modules. Well, these two modules helped me a lot in writing my doctoral thesis entitled Gender Studies and Foreign Language Teaching. So, sociolinguistics allowed me to establish connections between the realms of gender studies and foreign language teaching. Through this lens, I examined language within the context of societal gender dynamics. I have inspected language in the society from the perspective of the two genders. Furthermore, psycholinguistics played a significant role in both my academic research and professional practice. It facilitated my investigation into the relationship between language, individual cognition, and perception, which actually was the concern of my research topic. In fact, to talk about my research a little bit, it was built upon linguistics concept mainly. So the issue I investigated was about language and individual cognition and perception. Investigation into how language is used to refer to men and women, as well as how the structure of language influences the way its speakers perceive the world around them. So, linguistics played a major role in my studies. Whereas for my teaching, linguistics has helped me in designing my courses in a manner that catered to the needs and preferences of my students. Implementing diverse strategies, it helped me to create a comfortable classroom environment according to the needs of my students, of course. Uh, well, my study of linguistics has been integral to my educational growth, greatly facilitating my work and allowing me to enhance my teaching skills, honestly. So, without a solid foundation in linguistics, such achievements would have remained beyond reach, underscoring the indispensability of this discipline in my professional journey. So, thank you very much for your time and concern.
So this is the first testimony of one of my former students who studied few modules of linguistics as your students, and then he used them as he is actually part-time teacher at the university. He basically teaches grammar, and also he always recognizes the importance of linguistic branches and also topics that he has learned, and how to what extent they helped him in his career as a teacher. Okay, though he is now specialized in literature, etc., but still he's using linguistic items for his in his teaching process. Now, could you please pass the second recording?
Hello, I'm Gadi Yusra Sumia, part-time teacher at university. I'm a holder of Master Linguistics. As a grammar teacher, linguistics helped me to well explain the English components and structures for my students. As we know in linguistics, every language has a system of linguistic rules that can be learned in terms of phonology, morphology, syntax, and semantics. So it helps me to go further in explanation about origin of words and so on. As we know also that linguistic competence is the grasp of grammatical rules, so with my own experience, it really helped me to provide with enough information that enable my students to recognize grammatical rules and their grammatical mistakes in classrooms and outside of the classroom.
Okay, here again, the second student who is a holder of Master in Linguistics now is using her tools in her teaching process in private schools. In addition to in addition to her process of teaching, also she's teaching grammar and written expression also for students of English. The third and the last recording, please. Here it is about another student's experience, but he's from another perspective. How did lectures in linguistics help him in his career?
Hello everyone, thank you for having me on this event. My name is Sophie Benyoub. I am a postgraduate in linguistics and language dynamics. Currently I'm preparing my Ph.D. on sociolinguistics. So as a contribution to this seminar, I want to provide some insights or input about my experience in how studying linguistics contributed to my knowledge on teaching the English language and to my knowledge on teaching other languages also. So immediately what I'm thinking about right now when it comes to linguistics, because linguistics is a general term that covers many fields, the first thing that comes to my mind is psycholinguistics, because in psycholinguistic studies we study how the human beings and the human brain, specifically children in native languages, how they acquire that language, and we learn about many theories and dynamics that happens in the mind and the speech organs of the human being. So we try to employ those insights that has been learned through the acquisition of a native language, and we try to employ it to acquire a second language. For instance, when I am confronted by the question how I can learn a new language or a second language, I immediately advise people to listen to that language at minimum for a 3 or a 6 month. Then later we try the process of learning the language. In this way we are, let's say, mimicking the process of acquiring a native language, and we're trying to apply those strategies to learn a second language. However, it may take more time because let's say that the synapses and the mind is not fresh and fluid like it was when the human being was a newborn. Nevertheless, those strategies are useful and important in acquiring a language. The other thing that was insightful in teaching a language, it has two facets. One facet regarding sociolinguistics, and the other is a psycholinguistic facet. So the sociolinguistic facet is the importance of accent to people, at least here in Algeria and for me. We emphasize the accent because when people listen to a native-like accent, they have more confidence in you, regardless of your bulk of knowledge and your experience. They attribute to you high standards regarding that language when you have a native-like accent. That is why people are always fascinated by accent and trying to mimic the native accent of, let's say, British accent or American accent, because they are the
So can you
most famous.
stop here, please? It's enough. Perfect. So can you please carry on the slides? So here, this is PhD students emphasize the importance of linguistics for the students who want to learn, especially accent. Especially, we have problem. For example, the students of linguistics know that when we study ethnicities and origins and the impact of language, the L1 in the pronunciation of foreign language. So when we have students who mispronounce, if you have a good background of linguistics, you know that the L1 impacts pronunciation of foreign language. Otherwise, you will certainly think that the student is lazy or he does not make any efforts in order to improve his foreign language. So if we speak about the importance of linguistics in teaching English, we have different areas. The first one is language structure and grammar. I'm not going to go here thoroughly because I have already explained that when it comes to morphosyntax, we have to learn grammar. So grammar is important in order to learn English correctly. So the student who studies or linguistics, the students who studies linguistics, including morphology, syntax, and phonology, he will certainly have a great mastery of grammar. So yes, we have also other benefits from learning linguistics in the future of a teacher of English. Okay, so we have also number 2, which is language variation and sociolinguistics. So it encompasses the study of language variation, which explore how language is different in according to the social context, dialect, and also speech community. Equipped with this knowledge, can recognize and appreciate linguistic diversity and promotes inclusivity and avoid language bias in the classroom by understanding the social and cultural factors influencing language use. So this is important. When we have students from different ethnic groups, from different origins, who have differences in cultural attitudes, they have different attitudes, we can understand why are they reluctant or why are they anxious while learning. We can also measure and remedy their linguistic abilities and help them improve the production of correct English. But here we should have a solid background on their origins and on their cultural differences. That's why in the US, for example, they have specific programs, which means that the US government has a very unique, and I can see that it's an outstanding program of teaching minorities. For example, when an immigrant comes from the Western world or from the Eastern world, or from the students come, for example, from an Arab country, they have a program. When the student comes from, for example, Russia or Europe, they have another program because they tailor the syllabus of the school according to the origins and ethnicity of the students. So they have over, I don't know, 18 or 20 programs for each immigrant according to his place of birth. Okay, so here we have, now we are going to see another advantage of learning linguistics. Okay, so the third point, which is called foreign language acquisition. Okay, so here linguistics provides valuable insights into the process of foreign language acquisition, understanding how learners acquire language, the role of cognitive processes, and the influence of first language transfer. This is important. If we know, for example, how does the child acquire his first language? If your first language is Arabic or French or Chinese or Malay, your ability to learn a foreign language is not the same, because you have the sound systems, you have the cognitive abilities, we have the social, the cultural environment, which differ from one child to another. For example, in Algeria, we say contact because we have ta in Arabic, though we don't say contact. In English, we say contact, but we have ta has transferred from Arabic to English. So most of the students say contact. For example, contact linguistics is not whether to say contact. We don't say contact linguistics. We say contact because ta. So here the teacher who has a good background of transfer will know that ta is not a misuse, but it is a normal cognitive transfer from the sound of L1 to the sound of a foreign language. I think that you have the same thing with your students, where your L1 impacts the acquisition of foreign language. Okay, yes, move please. Here, language teaching methodology. So yes, we move. You move please to the next slide. So language teaching methodology here deal with this is the domain of applied linguistics. So here we have the methods that are used. For example, communicative language teaching, test-based learning, or immersive techniques. So linguistics insights enable teachers to design language lessons that promote meaningful interaction and authentic language use. So here it is the use, of course, of some linguistic concepts like communicative competence, linguistic competence, and here it is about applied linguistics. So here we move please to the next point. Here we speak about identifying, so teaching linguistics or studying linguistics may help the students identify the language difficulties, because when we analyze the linguistic differences between the students' native language and English, here when we measure that there is a problem from L1 to L2 or L1 to a foreign language, when we see the differences, we can know what are the remedies in order to improve the pronunciation of students of English as a foreign language based on his native language. Here we should know how to move from problems, how to remedy the impact, the negative transfer from L1 to a foreign language. And this knowledge is only present in the mind of the student who studied linguistics, and they know how does L1 positively or negatively impact the acquisition or the learning of a foreign language. We have also another advantage of learning linguistics in order to teach English, which is teaching vocabulary and meaning. You know that, well, I don't know, I think that we do not teach semantics, but for example, in mastering linguistics, we have a module called semantics. So it is the meaning. How does the meaning influence the child or the learner's acquisition and learning of language? How does the use of linguistic tools like semantics and also pragmatics, the hidden meaning, the importance of learning pragmatics in order to know the importance of culture, communicative competence. How do we use English not only accurately, but also using the norms of appropriateness It means to use English not only correctly and speaking it, but also according to the social situation or the social context. Here also we are going to move to another point regarding the importance of linguistics for the teacher, which is promotion of or promoting language skills. So linguistics informs the teacher of the four language skills: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. So because we are going to study phonology, pronunciation, phonetics, also grammar, how to write coherent paragraphs. So we have phonology, morphology, grammar, pronunciation, coherence, cohesion. All these are parts of the language skills that are speaking, listening, reading, and writing. So maybe, but I think that linguistics help them. Well, just let me tell you something that happened in Algeria. It's not theory. Here we are speaking about theories. Practical part. We got a context in 2016 about recruiting teachers in the middle school. So we have students Master 1 who were eligible to pass the contest. And we had students who passed the contest. They were from Master in Linguistics and Master in Didactics. So we were expecting that the winners will be from the student of Didactics. Well, surprisingly, great number of students who won the contest were students of Linguistics. And we were amazed. Why? Because when I have opened Master in Linguistics in 2016, so automatically I did not receive the best students. We received average students because the best students went to where? To Master in Didactics, thinking that they will have higher chances to be recruited. So at that time and in that period, we got a contest which opened. And how did I know that the students our students who passed the contest were winner? Because when after the contest ended and we restarted, teaching in lectures, most of the class was empty. And when I was asking where are the students, they say, Miss, they won the contest and they are going to teach, and then they will fix their schedule to study. So we were very happy. And we knew to what extent linguistics have them win the contest of teachers in the middle school. So please, can you carry on? Okay, now we see another advantage, which is adapting to learner needs. Okay, so linguistics enable teachers to adapt their teaching methods and materials to suit the specific needs of English language learners by understanding the process of second or foreign language acquisition and the influence of learners' first language. So here again, it is transfer, L1, language, sounds, background, culture, and how does it affect the learning of foreign language. All this knowledge is well explicit in the background of the students who studies linguistics. So didactics is good, but didactics focuses only on teaching methods, language or classroom management, students' needs. But when you speak about cultural, social, psychological, psycholinguistic, ethnicity, rule of appropriateness, these are not taught to students of didactics. These are not taught in didactics modules. They are taught in linguistics. So what are the linguists? Who are the linguists who define the importance of linguistics for EFL teaching or learning? I was eager to know who were those who really realized that linguistics is important for teaching English. So the first one that I found was Noam Chomsky. How did he know? So here we know he introduced what we call transformational generative grammar and universal grammar, which have had a profound impact on the field of linguistics and language teaching. His work emphasized the importance of understanding the underlying structures and rules of language for effective language instruction. Now, how did he do? He introduced what we call generative grammar. He introduced generative grammar. Can you please pass? You pass it. He introduced what we call language acquisition device. He spoke about the deep structure and the what he call it, the surface structure and deep structure. Deep structure, he said that all children have LAD, the language acquisition device, which is like, let's say, the machine which produces the grammatical rules for all children. So this LAD is responsible for universal grammar. So he stated that in order to learn grammar, children are equipped with innate grammatical system called universal grammar, which is found in their LAD, language acquisition device. So the deep structure is this LAD, which is the same for all children, but the production of children, of course, differs from one child to another. This is what we refer to competence and performance. So Chomsky worked or spoke about innateness, psycholinguistic issues in order to reflect the importance of linguistics for children's acquisition and also children's learning of grammar. So the second linguist who spoke about the importance of linguistics in teaching and learning English was, you pass it please, the second famous scholar's name is Halliday. Halliday is a linguist and a founder of systematic functional linguistics. He addressed the importance of language function and the social context of language use. His work has been influential in language teaching approaches that focus on communicative competence. So we all know what is communicative competence. So what did he do? You pass it, please. What did he do? He stated that the most important development in TESOL, they emphasize on communicative approach. The one thing that everyone is certain about is that the necessity to use language for communicative purposes in the classroom. Consequently, the concern for teaching linguistic competence has widened to include communicative competence. The socially appropriate use of language and the methods reflect this shift from form to function. This is the one who said that it's not a matter of using grammar correctly, but where to use it. It means to use it appropriately according to the norms of appropriateness, according to the rules of appropriateness in society. For example, I know hi, we know that you say hi, good morning, hello, but where to use hi? We do not use hi with anybody. We do not use formal or informal style with anybody. So the norms of appropriateness were used in a concept which is regarded as a didactic concept, which is communicative competence. Yes, you pass it, please. The third scholar was Krashen. Krashen is a very known scholar. He's a linguist. He spoke about psycholinguistics. He spoke about language acquisition process and also the meaningful input to learners in the EFL classroom. He was the leaders of what we call the window of opportunity, the optimal age for learning for a language, the stages of the child's first language acquisition. What are the internal factors and external factors helping child learning for a language, classroom impact on the learners. He was much more concerned with the young learners. So he spoke about psycholinguistics issues that may impact and help the child learn a foreign language in the classroom. And last one, which is Diane Larson Freeman is a leading scholar in second language acquisition and applied linguistics. She has worked on the integration of linguistic theories into language teachings by providing hints into the linguistic features of English and to incorporate this understanding into their instructional strategies. So here again, she spoke about how can we integrate the linguistic items and linguistic theories like competence performance in order to produce English language correctly. So she dealt with the importance of linguistic items and tools and their impact in the production of correct English. So next, please. The last one, I guess, is Richard. So Richard is also a very well-known scholar. He stressed the importance of linguistic analysis in teaching English. His work emphasized the role of grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation in language instruction and advocates for an integral approach that draws on linguistic knowledge. This is also among the scholars who stress the importance of L1. It means for him L1 grammar language in general can be a good or a positive tool for learning. So for him, L1 is not a handicap, but it may trigger the learner to well use their L1 or their language, the first language, their mother tongue, in order to learn a foreign language. So these scholars, these are just, a selection of scholars, have significantly contributed to our understanding that linguistic knowledge is essential for effective EFL teaching. Their research and insights have informed language teaching approaches, curriculum development, and instructional practices, highlighting the importance of incorporating linguistic principles into teaching of English as a foreign language. So these are a selection of scholars who were the leaders, because these are studies dating from 60s and 50s, and those who emphasize the importance of linguistics in learning a foreign language, the importance of linguistics from different areas, psycholinguistics, sociolinguistic, also from also sociolinguistic, especially sociolinguistic and psycholinguistic, and also from the morpho syntax of L1 and also L2. You pass it, please. Now we are going to move to a very important part, which is why are some EFL students reluctant to study linguistics? I guess this is the major question of this lecture, because you have noticed that students, EFL students, even in Algeria, most of them are not very hot in learning linguistics, because they see that they're not going to get enough knowledge in order to use it, or they don't measure the importance of linguistics knowledge to use it in their career of didactics. And even now in Algeria, most of the students rush, I say literally rush, to didactics master, and they ignore linguistics master because they say, what I'm going for her to know in linguistics, it's better for me to learn didactics because I will be a future teacher. But at the end, they find themselves with the students of linguistics with the same, more or less, the same abilities. And as I have already explained to you in the context, it's not always the students of didactics who got the best positions. So among the questions I was always asking myself, why are students very skeptical when it comes to learning linguistics. So we have different causes. The first one is technical terminology. You know that linguistics is full of terminology and jargon, which can be overwhelming for beginners. So learning and understanding these terms is essential for engaging with the subject matter, but it can take time and effort. So this is a problem. Teachers, I am a teacher. I think you are teachers. The teachers of linguistics, when they teach terminology, what they do is that they teach it as if they are teaching philosophy. They give them very abstract terms. And the students, of course, they don't catch this. And what they do, when you don't understand, you create a distance with the concept. I teach abstract topics. Well, I don't claim that we can give illustrations, but I think that in 90%, if we speak about neurolinguistics, it's very hard. If we speak about psycholinguistics, it's very hard. But as an experience, or upon my own humble experience as a teacher, the ideal way is what is illustration. It works because I am teacher of modules in linguistics. When I illustrate, when I give examples, for example, if you speak about accent. So students will not understand if I define them accent and I give them, or I, for example, not accent, no, social dialect. If I speak about social dialect, well, by experience, if I give them example from UK, if I give them examples from, I don't know, Australia, from, I don't know, Bangladesh, United States, they understand. But if I give them examples from Algeria, they understand in few seconds because they live in Algeria, they're not living in the US. So this is the idea. Once you provide students with examples, with concrete examples in situation in which they live, their speed of understanding and assimilation will be great. So abstract concepts and technical terminology, teachers should change their way. And here the challenge is that the teacher should understand first. This is the challenge. For example, when I ask my students, what do you think of the way of my teaching? Of course, I'm not telling them this. The teacher, I have students here in the Zoom, they can attest. I don't ask them like, what do you think? No, the students are always afraid. When I ask them in an anonymous way, what do you think of my teaching? Because my aim is always to improve my way, to update my knowledge and improve my way of teaching, my teaching method. They say, Miss, you simplify. Simplification is the result of your mastery of the concept. When you master concept, you will be able to simplify things. So this is the challenge. The more you understand, the better will be your way of simplification. And also, linguistics should not be like Quran. Many teachers think that linguistics is a red line. No, it's Chomsky who said this. It's Krashen who says it. You are just a student. No, if you integrate the students in the process of debating and discussing and make sure that this student who has a very, he is a beginner, but he is able to provide his opinion, it will make a difference in linguistics classroom, and it will create hot debates among even the unmotivated students. So analytical skills, of course, linguistics abroad, for example, linguistics abroad is one of the most highly difficult disciplines to get access because it needs analytical skills and critical mind. And for me, this is the challenge, because I'm always trying to encourage my students to have a critical mind, to criticize, to speak their mind, to give their opinion, even in front of great authorities and scholars around the world. Why not? I think that if you invite students to be part of this debate in your classroom and ask them to give you their opinion, it will be just fantastic. So please, I hope that teachers excluding students because it is linguistics, it is you have not to define this, you have no, you can agree, you can disagree, you can give your opinion, you can add, you can, why not, why? So here the students, most of the students feel themselves that they are obliged to learn this, they have nothing to do. If, for example, if you take a student and you tell him, what do you prefer, literature or linguistics? He will tell you literature. Why? Because in literature, he can express his opinion. But in linguistics, he said, well, everything is strict. I cannot really add something, which is false. We can invite students to be part of this debate. So please, next. We have multidisciplinary
Wait. Why can't I stop at the page? Okay.
Next.
Okay. Next.
Okay.
And then, and then it disappears, Prof.
Okay, no problem. You go to the next multidisciplinary.
Okay.
I know. Okay, multidisciplinary. So the teacher should be multidisciplinary. And here in language diversity, of course, the linguistic studies the diversity of languages worldwide. So, and this can present a challenge for educators, and also the features and peculiarities of different languages requires an open mind and linguists to explore unfamiliar linguistic phenomena. So when we speak about linguistic diversity or language diversity, it is very attractive to students. But here, the student should study this language diversity from a positive and say, people, it means we should, it will be intercultural knowledge, not intracultural and say, yet we are better than them. No, we should always look at the languages and the language diversity, culture of the other people as a plus to us. So that's why it is a part of what we call interculturality, not intra. Intraculturality is to judge people and to say that no, we are better than them, they are better than that. No, we should not judge the other languages, but we should help open and widen the mind of the learner to know that diversity is something positive, is not something negative. Okay, next please. Now we move to the next problem, which is lack of intuitive understanding. So students are reluctant vis-a-vis learning linguistics because we use effortlessly every day, but linguistics involves analyzing language systematically and breaking down into components. It means studying language using questionnaire, recordings, interviews needs a critical mind and needs lots of focus from students. And sometimes students prefer something du déjà vu, something that is ready. It's better to study teaching methods is better. Even our students, they say our students and vis-a-vis the student of linguistics, they are working hard. Their homeworks are very hard because they need lots of investigation, lots of work, interviews, transcription, analysis, interpretation. It's much more difficult than students of, for example, of didactics who just are behind at the end in the class, they observe the students' anxiety, observation, that's all. Okay, so it's hard for the students of linguistics sometimes. Okay, next, please. We move to another point, which is lack of complex syntax analysis. So regarding the complex syntax analysis, so here we will speak also about data collection limitations. We speak about that sometimes students may encounter difficulties in obtaining a sufficient amount of variety of data to support their analysis. So sometimes collecting data is not that easy task as it is students of so studying linguistics sometimes it's time and effort consuming. That's why some students find themselves reluctant. Please, next. Okay, so we move to the next part, which is evolving field. So it's a dynamic and evolving field, and also with an ongoing debate and advancement. So it's something which is evolving, the linguistics. So it needs a teacher who should update his knowledge. Linguistics is not didactics. Linguistics is like computer science, is like informatics, because language is dynamic. So we should know how to update our knowledge, and the teacher should make an attractive topics that really interest students. Well, you may tell me, how can we make phonetics and phonology attractive? Well, by, for example, making the student listen to native speakers, speech production, listening, producing, not only learning it in a theoretical and then boring way. Next, please. We have also ambiguity and variation. Linguistics is not that easy, especially some branches like psycholinguistics, like grammar, syntax is not that easy. So it needs, passion and students who really love doing this, because it poses challenges in linguistic analysis. Next, please. So how to make it out for us? The challenge for me is how to make linguistics attractive to students. Now, I have explained firstly that linguistics is very important for the teacher of English as a foreign language. But also I have explained that students do not love so much linguistics. Is not because they don't see the importance of it. Some of them see the importance of it, as the testimonials of some of my previous students, but sometimes they cannot follow up. Why? I'm not going to tell you the lack of materials, no, because we have Google, we have English studies, they are mostly available on the net for free. We have data, we don't have problems. We didn't have problem of data collection because we generally speak about language, phonology, phonemes, grammar, these are available. The problem is the teaching methods. This is my opinion. Teachers of linguistics, which I belong to them, but teachers of linguistics make the teaching of linguistic items hellish or mission impossible. Why? Because they do not integrate students in their debate. They exclude students from providing their opinion on the assumption that these are linguistic items. It is a red line. You have not to provide your opinion. No, they can. And number 3, this is the most important problem, is illustration and exemplification. If the students of linguistics try to illustrate every single time things difficult with easy concepts or with easy examples from daily life of the students, believe me, they can make the students appreciate the language in a very attractive way, and also they can make this process of learning English a very attractive mission. So I think that learning linguistics and simplification, and also the students' involvement in the teaching process will be the 3 key or key words for better learning linguistics and make it attractive and creating a joyful environment for learning English for the students. So as a final conclusion, can you please pass it? The final conclusion is that for me, linguistics is a vital tool for teachers of English as a second or foreign language, offering valuable insights into language structure, variation, acquisition, and teaching methodology. By incorporating linguistic knowledge into their practice, educators can foster a deeper understanding of English language principles, address learning difficulties, and create inclusive learning environments. Through the application of linguistics, teachers play a pivotal role in empowering students to become effective communicators in the globalized world. So it's important to know that why this difficulty exists. Many students find it joy and fulfillment in studying linguistics and are motivated by their curiosity about language and its intricacies. With dedication, persistence, and support, students can overcome these challenges and develop a deeper understanding of the fascinating field of linguistics. That's all. This is the end of my lecture. Thank you very much. I'm sorry for taking more time.
Okay, so thank you, Prof. Mostari, for the very wonderful insight for us. Okay, about linguistics and the relationship with the ELT or English language teaching. So now let's move to the next session, which is the Q&A, the discussion session. Wait, let me see. Yeah, is there any? No, there are no questions yet here in the chat room. So maybe I'm going to invite the students here. Do you have any questions, or maybe what is it? Yeah, any response that you want to give to the professor here? You can raise your hand, or maybe you can turn on your microphone, or maybe you can also write your questions on the chat room. Is there any questions? Okay, you are encouraged, yeah, you are encouraged to deliver questions or maybe comments, yeah, related to the topic delivered by the keynote speaker today.
Sheila Faradila asked question.
Faradila. Okay. Oh yes, Mbak Faradila here ya. Mbak Faradila. Okay, she wants to ask a question. What are the tips and tricks? What are the tips and tricks for learning linguistics for the first time? Okay, so Prof, this is the first question from our student here.
Can you repeat the question? I could not hear it, please.
Okay, sorry. Is there any, or maybe are there any tips or tricks or maybe strategies for the students who learn linguistics for the first time?
I think that she's asking about language tips. Okay,
Yes.
so I think that the tips is that the beginners, students, beginners of learning linguistics should read simplified textbooks. And the idea is that they check for the easiest or the simplest definition of concepts. For example, if the students know that linguistics is the scientific study of human language, it's enough. They should not carry on a difficult, complicated, unnecessary information and details. So they should start with simple things, because once they memorize simple definitions, like what is competence, performance, langue, parole, signify, signifier, so it is simplicity. Don't focus on complex definitions. Check the simplest ones. And this is also the role of the teacher. If the teacher starts doing, unnecessary data, the students will be frustrated, and of course they will hate this field from the beginning.
Okay. Okay, so maybe Mbak Farah, what do you think of the response? If you want to add another question, yeah, you can just write them down, okay? Okay, there is another question, Prof, from Afinda. Okay, so she asked how to easily overcome discourse analysis by students during English learning. Oh, okay.
How to easily overcome discourse analysis by students? What do you mean by overcome discourse analysis? The question is not clear. Discourse analysis, what do you mean by overcome discourse? Overcome which problems or what? Maybe she can reformulate the question. It's not clear.
Okay, Mbak Afinda, maybe you can paraphrase your question here. Yeah, what do you mean by overcoming discourse analysis? Do you want to say that discourse analysis is too difficult for you, so you want to ask about the strategies or what? Yeah,
exactly.
Okay.
There is also there is somebody called Sidi. She is raising her hand.
Yes. She okay, but I do not know. Yeah, Sili here is raising her hand. So what is it? You can turn on your microphone.
Yes.
Oh yes. Okay. Do you have any questions? We can hear you clearly.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I just want to I observed that students come with the idea that linguistics is complex and difficult before even being introduced to this module as a module and its branches, of course. And before even being introduced, so as a teacher, how can I limit this idea, this rejection and positive, negative attitude?
Okay, I think it's Sili. I think Sili is from Algeria, if I'm wrong, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I guess so.
So hi Sili. Okay, so to answer your question, it's easy. Well, the first question that I ask, I will answer you with the question. The first question I receive when I ask the students of linguistics, why have you chosen to study linguistics? So they say, most of them, they say, oh, well, I didn't find another option. I wanted didactic, so I didn't get good marks, or I came to linguistics. Now, in the last 3 years, I have another different answer, which is, I am here to study linguistics because I love the teacher of linguistics of the first or the second or the third year. So here my answer is that it depends on the teacher. So we cannot start, you cannot tell me that we have a prior knowledge of linguistics as difficult. No, I think that the idea is when we enter, because the student, when he starts his first classes, he doesn't know the modules, whether they are difficult or not. So what happens is that the responsibility goes over the teacher. If the teacher of the first and the second and the third year provides him with positive impression about linguistics, he can carry on. If the teacher makes him think that it is difficult, he will see it difficult all his life. Okay, so the responsibility goes over the teacher as a first step in order to change the mind of the students. As I am now changing the mind of the student, they say, oh, it was not that difficult as we thought before, because I use the simplification teaching method. So I hope that I have answered the question.
Yes, thank you so much, by the way.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I see that there is another question here.
Yes. In
Okay,
what ways
let-
can linguistics?
yes.
In what ways can linguistics contribute to language assessment? Well, it can contribute to a huge, or to a great level. Why? Because when we speak about language assessment, what do we assess? We assess oral skill. Oral skill is what? Is fluency. Is pronunciation. Pronunciation is what? It's phonetics and phonology. Language assessment is written form. Written form is what? Is grammar. Grammar is what? Is morphosyntax. Morphosyntax is what? Morphology and syntax. Listening. Listening is pronunciation. Reading. So we have cohesion and coherence. So it's a part of what? It is a part of acquisition, learning, reading strategies. Reading strategies is cognition. Partly we have cognition. So cognition, we have psycholinguistic features. We have L1. We have L1 transfer to L2. So it contributes to a great, wonderful top level to language assessment. So it contributes to a great extent. Another question? Yes, I see. Thank you so much for the information. Okay.
Okay, more questions, please. What about Mbak Afinda? Mbak Afinda. Okay, so have you formulated your question here?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh yes, Mbak Afinda. So what do you want to ask?
Maybe how to solve the problem of discourse analysis by students during English learning. This I mean.
Discourse analysis, yes, I'm sorry, I couldn't get your point. Discourse analysis, yes. What is the problem with discourse analysis? Avinda. Yes.
Afinda, Mbak Afinda, do you have a problem with studying or learning discourse analysis?
Sometimes I got that.
Yeah, well, basically to answer your question, I can confess that discourse analysis is not that easy module. So don't be frustrated. The problem is not yours. The problem is that discourse analysis is very difficult module or branch. So it needs experts here, even in the department where I teach. When it comes to discourse analysis, we don't have, for example, specialized. Even me, I'm not specialized in discourse analysis. I have taught discourse analysis a few years ago, but I was just trying to navigate, because discourse analysis is written and oral. Oral, we have a combination of pragmatics. We have body language. We have a hidden message. We have, for example, we have students who made the dissertation of, for example, analyzing the discourse of a president. So his speech, intonation, vocabulary, body language. So this is a field. In a written form, we have cohesion, coherence, codes. So it's not that easy. So the only way to overcome the problem is firstly to know that the oral discourse analysis is different from the written discourse analysis. You have to study, for example, when we speak about discourse analysis, we have different approaches how to analyze a discourse. So you have to know which approach to adapt, and you have to know what are the key the parameters in order to analyze a discourse. And for this, you need intensive reading. So don't worry, but in itself is not that easy. Okay, so you have to read more. That's all. To read more, but you have firstly to understand the key concepts of, or let's say you have to understand the rules of a discourse, the written rules that are different from the oral rules. I hope
Okay.
I was clear to some extent.
Okay, so what do you think, Mbak Afinda? Is it clear enough?
Is it clear, ma'am? Thank you so much for answering my asking.
Okay, so that's the key word, yeah. Please read more, Mbak Afinda, read more. To be able to write, yeah, to be able to do analysis, you need to read more. Okay, so another question. Do you have another question, guys? And there are some of your Algerian students, yeah, Prof. Okay, so another question here, Prof.
Yes, please, Professor, please be invited. Thank you. If we can criticize linguistics by revealing its teaching theories that takes place in classroom, daily practice methods, would it better help and assist students to get along well in the comprehension of the abstract side? If we can criticize linguistics, yeah, the teaching theories, yeah, of course, yes. The students talks about, oh yeah, Tuemi, how are you, Tuemi? It's my former Ph.D. student. How are you? Yes, I didn't see you though. So yes.
Good. Thank you, Professor.
Thank you. Yeah. So the idea is that, yeah, if we make it concrete, we can overcome the abstract, gloomy. The challenge is that most of the teachers make it something like ambiguous. So when it is ambiguous, generally the human mind always takes distance from something which are, or things that are ambiguous. So when you don't understand things and it's not clear and it is full of mysteries, we take distance. That's it. But if we try to, even me, for example, students laugh when, for example, when I want to explain to them the difference between compound and coordinate bilingual, which is psycholinguistics, I always draw a big mind and put some arrows. The students laugh, but it is the only way to explain to them some concrete or abstract into concrete. So using a board, using videos, using examples are all the solutions for a concretization of this such abstract topic. It's like when we were studying, I think that we were all studying physics in the lycée, and the problem we did not understand in the middle school, on the secondary school, because the teachers were talking about gravity, about many things using abstract way. So that's why we hate physics, because we do not understand. It's too abstract. Okay, I remember one of my teachers that he told me, you solve the problem, you solve the activities, why are you asking questions? So I remember I told him, I don't understand. What do you mean by gravity? Give me example. He could not give me example about gravity. So I could not concretize or give an image in my mind to the idea of gravity. So if we concretize the abstract concepts, we will succeed in making this abstract topic a very, it will be better handled and used and appreciated by the students. That's all. And before, the teacher should master the concepts, because if he masters the concepts, he can give easy examples. If he does not, because the concepts are not all the easy, he cannot, and he will be obliged to give only definitions, and maybe he will scream at the student if they ask more definitions, because he does not even understand what he is teaching. This is the problem.
Yeah. Thank you, Professor.
Welcome. So I'm waiting for other questions. If you have, I will be happy to answer. Well, I cannot hear you, Shaila. I cannot hear you. Can you activate the?
Oh yeah, I'm really sorry. Okay, so because it's almost 5 p.m. here in Indonesia, and it's almost yeah, Maghrib prayer time. So I think we should end the session right now. What do you think, Prof?
Okay, it's okay.
Okay, yeah, it's 5 p.m. here. Okay. So if no one has anything else to add, then I think we will wrap this up. Yeah, so that will be all for today. Before leaving, please make sure to complete the attendance form, especially for our students. Yeah, and before we left, I'm going to share a certificate. Wait, certificate addressed to Prof. Mostari.
Okay.
Okay. Where did I save it? Okay, here it is. Okay. So there's a certificate of appreciation for Professor Mostari Hind Amel, Ph.D. for being a speaker at a guest lecture entitled Promoting Literacy and Linguistics for English Language Teaching, yeah, conducted by English Education Study Program, Faculty of Psychology and Education of Sida, University of Muhammadiyah Sidoarjo. Okay, Bu Fika, maybe you can take a picture with this certificate.
Okay, sure.
Okay, yes.
Yes, done, Bu Sheila.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so Professor and also the audiences, yeah, thank you very much for being such a wonderful audience, and let us give a huge appreciation, yeah, for today's speaker, Professor Mostari Hind Amel, PhD. I think we will see you next time at the next opportunity. And
thank you.
Yes, Ufika, do you want to add anything for the closing or what?
Well, I thank you for giving me the opportunity to present this lecture that was beneficial for your students and my students, also to me. And I hope that I have answered your students' question, and I have diminished their worries and frustrations regarding the fear from linguistics as a module, and also to highlight its importance as a key for the success in their career as EFL teachers.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes.
Bu Fika?
Okay, thank you, Prof. Hind, for the insightful materials and also for the participant. Thank you so much for your active contribution for supporting this program. I think that's it.
Thank you.
Mansell.
Thank you. Welcome. Okay.
Okay.
So thank you very much.
Okay, so thank you very much you all once again. So I guess we will see you next time. Yeah. So that's it.
Thank
That's
you.
for
Bye bye.
today. Bye bye. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye bye everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.